Tonight, the judgment call to separate a child from his parents is one of the most difficult decisions.
Our Call 6 team continues its extensive look at the impact of heroin on our state. Tonight, Call 6 investigator Kara Kenney with the youngest victims impacted by heroin.
That's right, Erica. I spent some time with a woman on the front lines of this war against heroin. She invited me into a courtroom where I watched and listened to drug-addicted parents fighting to keep their children.
The juvenile court sits atop one of Marion County's highest points. Its nickname, Heartbreak Hill. Most people never go inside this facility, but Judge Marilyn Moores wanted us to see what goes on here.
I think most of the city doesn't know really what goes on out here.
Judge Marilyn Moores is the only juvenile court judge for Marion County. She handles cases where children are suffering from abuse and neglect or simply need services. More than 2,000 cases a year. And in the past 2 years, Judge Moores has noticed a disturbing trend in her courtroom.
This community is drowning in heroin. I've never seen anything like this. It is like someone dynamited the Hoover Dam. And what is washing out are babies and children.
But it's not children using heroin, it's their parents. And Moore says we're not talking bums on the street. Heroin users in her courtroom are often white, middle-class parents with jobs, parents that are putting heroin first.
I had a 7-year-old yesterday who said, I don't get enough to eat when I'm with my mommy, because she was out seeking drugs all the time, and all the money went for drugs, and it was heroin. They're watching their parents overdose, they're watching their parents prostitute to get the money for the drugs.
As she fights the war on heroin, one addict at a time, it's Moore's job to help families with counseling and treatment. It's also her job to decide whether to keep children in the home or remove them and place them with relatives or in foster care.
Do you have those fears? I mean, are you afraid?
Every day. Because every day I sit right there and I have to decide, do I traumatize this child by removing them and placing them perhaps with strangers, or do I leave them in the home? You have to weigh this scale. These children love their parents. There's a tremendous trauma with removing kids, even from the most horrific situations.
Do you look at it as a last resort?
Absolutely, I look at it as a last resort.
Moore says she removes more children because of heroin than any other drug, because heroin is just that dangerous, addictive, and damaging.
What do you say to those people that are sitting in suburbia that say, this doesn't affect me?
You're paying the bill.
How so?
You are paying for the services provided to these parents. You are paying for the foster care for these children.
And many are Medicaid patients, so you're paying for drug-addicted babies who spend weeks in the NICU.
I would guess that's about a $250,000 bill.
On Heartbreak Hill, Judge Moore sees cases nearly every day involving heroin drug use.
This is so sad.
It's heartbreaking. Heartbreak Hill, I'm telling you.
So what can we do as a community? Moore says you can volunteer as a foster parent or a garden ad litem.
And Kara, the judge really expressed a passion and a real concern on this issue.
She did, and she has an urgent plea. If you have not picked up a needle, don't. And if you have picked up that needle, then don't have a baby.
Very good advice and very important information. Thank you so much, Kara.